You had plans to purchase a home or thinking about doing so within the next 6, 12, 24 months, well, this email is for you. And this email and this video is a good background on what is happening when the lending side of things. Now, when we look back in history at different times where there were economic shifts, one thing that always tends to happen is that the lending standards start to get stricter. They start to tighten themselves. And when I say lending standards, I'm talking about the lenders themselves, the people who are issuing those loans. They have minimum requirements for credit score, debt to income ratios, how much down payment you need, so on and so forth. The biggest changes that we're now seeing, and these things are happening rapidly and changing on a day-to-day basis, it seems. But as of right now, the biggest changes are related to your minimum credit scores and your debt to income ratios, which are big components to being able to qualify for a mortgage. Here's a good example. JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest financial lending institutions in the country, is now saying that in order to get a loan from JP Morgan Chase, a mortgage from JP Morgan Chase, you need to have a minimum of a 700 credit score, 700. And you also need to have a debt to income ratio in the ballpark of about 50% on some of the more forgiving loans. And in addition to that, some of the loans are now requiring at least a 20% down payment. And some of the other loan types that they are offering with JP Morgan Chase are also becoming stricter as well. Now, this is also starting to apply to some of those government-backed loans. So the USDA loans, VA, and FHA, the popular one, very popular FHA loan, which is a very forgiving loan, has lower credit score criteria, lower down payment requirements, and a higher debt to income ratio that is allowed. So some changes are happening on the government side of things as well. It is now being reported that with overlays from lenders on top of the new government guidelines, it's for an FHA loan, which tends to be one of the more forgiving ones, you need to have about a mid 600 credit score at least to be able to think about getting an FHA loan at this point in time. So, that's what we're seeing. The economy is constricting due to what's going on with the coronavirus. And because of the fact that lenders can't sell a new loan especially when it's been closed recently, they're starting to mitigate their loss, or at least mitigate their risk, and try to prevent as much risk as possible. Now, there is some good news happening that's right now that's important to know, and that's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have both announced that they will be buying loans that were just recently closed if they go into forbearance. So, for example, if somebody purchases a home and then a week later loses their job and then has to apply for a mortgage loan forbearance, or forgiveness if you want to call it that, or at least help from the mortgage company, now Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will purchase those loans, whereas before those loans were not allowed to be sold. So that should help to at least kind of loosen the belt a little bit of the lenders, but still, time will tell on all of those things, and there's still some time to go with this. So the best thing you can do right now while we have this time is to, if you need to bump your credit score up, is to start doing that now. And I can get you in touch with somebody who can at least have that conversation with you, look things over, tell you what things that would be really helpful for you to be able to boost that credit score up high enough, and also talk about your debt to income ratios, things that you need to be thinking about during this time where real estate in Pennsylvania is more or less at a standstill. So I can get you in touch with those people. All you have to do is reply to this email. Another thing is important: if you're looking to buy a home, you're thinking about doing that 6, 12, 24 months, have that strategy in place from a real estate side of things, and I can help with that. Just again, same thing, reply to this email. We can get that conversation started. No obligation, no pressure at all, just having a conversation. That's it. If that's something you like to do, look forward to reaching out to you and hearing from you. Until then, I hope you all stay safe. I'll continue to provide as much information on the things that are ongoing as much as I can. Stay safe, stay distant. We'll get through this, and we'll talk to you next time.